up at the stars for answers to life's biggest challenges. But what if the solutions aren't out there in the cosmos, but rooted right here on Earth? Today, we're diving into the story of a sacred tree from India that's believed to do exactly that, to help harmonize our lives with the planets themselves.
It's a pretty big question, right? Can a tree, something so physical and grounded, actually have an effect on something as cosmic as our karma? Well, according to ancient Vedic wisdom, the answer is a definite yes.
Okay, so to really get the solution, we first have to understand the problem. And in a lot of ancient traditions, planets aren't just floating rocks. They're seen as having a real, powerful influence on our lives. And believe me, one of the most serious players in that cosmic game is Saturn. This whole idea is a cornerstone of Vedic Jyotish. In this ancient system from India, planets, or grahas, are way more than just distant balls of gas. No, they're seen as living cosmic forces that are actively shaping our destiny, our health, even our spiritual path. So, Saturn, also known as Shani, is basically the great taskmaster of the zodiac. It's the planet of discipline. When its influence is strong or challenging, it's said to bring delays and a feeling of being stuck. Physically, it's connected to things like stiff joints and breathing problems, which in Ayurvedic medicine is called a vata imbalance. Think of it as too much air or wind in your system. It can even show up as these deep karmic blocks that are tied to your family history. So, if a planet can cause all these challenges, where do you turn for help? Well, according to these traditions, the answer isn't to look further into the stars. It's to look right here, on Earth, at one very special tree. Let's meet our hero, the Patali Tree. Now, its scientific name is a mouthful, Stereospermum suaveolens, but in Sanskrit, it's called Patala. This tree is a total powerhouse in traditional Indian medicine. In fact, its roots are one of the main ingredients in a super famous Ayurvedic formula called Dashamula, which literally translates to the 10 roots. And this is where things get really fascinating. You see this incredible parallel between these two ancient systems. On one side, you have Ayurveda, which uses the Patali tree to calm those physical vata issues like stiffness and breathing trouble. And on the other side, you have Jyotish, which prescribes the exact same tree to soothe Saturn's influence, which is said to cause those very same problems. It's like a perfect mirror. Now, this connection isn't just some nice philosophical idea. Oh no, there are very specific, ancient practices designed to use the Patali tree's power to get some planetary relief. So let's take a look at how it's actually done. I mean, just look at how specific these remedies get. For Saturn, you've got a root decoction taken on a Saturday. That's Saturn's day, makes sense. And it's meant to help with joint relief. For other tricky influences like Rahu and Mars, there's a sacred fire ceremony called a homa to clear out toxins. And for your overall karmic stability, something as simple as planting a sapling. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what these rituals actually involve. It's this really beautiful blend of herbal know-how, perfect timing, and sacred intention. Okay, first up, that root decoction for Saturn. And listen, the timing here is absolutely crucial. The roots have to be harvested on a Saturday, Saturn's day, and during a waning moon. Then a precise amount is brewed up and you sip it right at dawn, all while chanting a specific mantra 108 times. It's all about aligning your own energy with the planets. But it's not just about the roots. Other parts of the tree are used in really interesting ways. You can make a talisman from the bark and wear it on your middle finger, that's Saturn's finger, to help dissolve delays. Those fire offerings or homas are done to create a kind of protective shield. And you can even take a therapeutic bath with the leaves to ease inflammation linked to the planet Mars. And then there's the long-term fix, the planting puja. You plant a new sapling in the west, which is the direction associated with Saturn. And that act of walking around the tree with an offering of mustard oil, that's considered a really powerful way to cleanse karma, especially when it comes to resolving issues passed down through your family line. So all of these practical remedies are amazing, but they're really just pointing to something much, much deeper. The Patali tree isn't just a tool, it's a living symbol. Remember Dashamula, the 10 roots? Well, the Patali is the 10th and final root in that formula, so it represents completion, a sense of wholeness and harmony. It's all about balancing our 10 senses, the 5 we use to perceive the world and the 5 we use to act in it, and bringing that structured silence of Saturn to quiet all the chaotic noise in our lives. There's this one line from the source material that just perfectly captures this whole idea.
It's a message about resilience. It suggests that challenges, like an eclipse, are really just temporary shadows. We have to endure them so that something brighter, some kind of enlightenment, can emerge on the other side.
So really, the story of the Patali tree is this beautiful metaphor. What it's teaching us is that nature has already given us the tools we need to be resilient. It's suggesting that the remedies for our biggest challenges, both cosmic and personal, might not be found by looking up at the stars, but by looking down at the roots right under our feet.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? If a single tree can hold this much deep cosmic and medicinal wisdom, what other secrets, what other ancient knowledge is just waiting for us to discover in the plants, forests, and mountains all around us?